My name is Sarah Stefana Smith. I'm a visual artist and academic, and I create objects, sculptures, and installations. Namely, my work communicates between Black art and aesthetics, queer and Black feminist thought. And so I make objects often that negotiate questions of repair and disrepair, as well as the entanglements between difference. And when I say difference, I mean race, gender, and sexuality. With Willful Matters, I am quite literally thinking about two thinkers. I'm thinking about Black feminist science and history professor Evelyn Hammonds, as well as Edouard Glissant, who is a Caribbeanist scholar who wrote a book called Poetics of Relation. Glissant and Hammonds create opportunities for me to think about questions of Black life, Black survival, Black femme experience, both as a line of thought, but also as a literal set of practices that I can use to engage with the materials that I explore. So Willful Matters is comprised of, I would say, 3 bodies of work. The first is called Flag to the Abyss. The second is called Symmetries, Asymmetries. And the third is called Asymmetries, Symmetries. Flag to the Abyss, again, in many ways, is a conversation with Black thought, and I'm thinking about Caribbean scholar Edouard Glissant. And so one of the things that Glissant talks about is that the post-colonial subject has the right to be opaque, has the right to not just be super legible. He also talks about the abyss. Glissant is certainly thinking about the Middle Passage. And so the abyss becomes this sort of broad, historical, capacious, specific kind of location that is unmarkable. And so these flags to the abyss are grappling with what does it mean to mark a territory that is unmarkable, or a territory that also requires imagining new forms of life. For a long time, I was just sort of working in black and white, and green sort of became a way to kind of evoke this idea of futurity. One might associate sort of black with the past, white with a sort of present, and green with a future, but by sort of engaging the materials collectively, I'm inviting a kind of conversation around color that actually sort of disrupts some of the taken for granted assumptions that get associated with how we engage and explore color itself. A lot of my process is about exploring the limits of material and then doing things with it. With the flags, a lot of that discovery really included drawing on knot making and macrame styles and forms of weaving and sort of making them a kind of hybridized practice. I'm interested in learning from tradition and practice and also making it my own. So I want to talk about the second and third series of work in Willful Matters, that is Symmetries, Asymmetries, and Asymmetries, Symmetries. I kind of developed a deep, complicated relationship to bird netting. People would put bird netting on their balconies to keep birds from nesting there. And so it became a material for me to both think about lines of demarcation between difference and exclusion. I later became so excited about the material that I would photograph it. And so Symmetries, Asymmetries continue that exploration of me photographing the material. So I think that there are a lot of inspirations that inform the works in Willful Matters. I am really quite struck by Agnes Martin's delicate lines and explorations. And so while my work is wildly different from that, this relationship to the line and the grid is certainly something that I'm exploring. And I think I would also be remiss if I didn't speak about kind of larger kind of fiber textile histories within a kind of African-American and sort of Black diasporic process. The Gieben quilters have certainly been significant to that. There are histories of textile making that I think are very specifically about a gendered kind of work, a gendered kind of labor that I am certainly thinking through and engaging with. The other thing that I can say about the commission with Willful Matters is it's invited me to really be very specific about engaging the photographs, the sculptural drawings, and the flags together. For me, there is a sort of through line about relationships and non-relationships that are so important, and having an opportunity to stage that relationship is really quite meaningful. To get to, see your own process come together in a way that feels very cohesive, I think is probably one of the most exciting parts of Willful Matters for me.